Thunderous, you are down into the bottom two because I guess you're kind of a threat, although you're about as intelligent as a piece of meat.
Spaghetti envelopes.
And Infernape, you're here because you failed the challenge on purpose, have a rude and bossy attitude, and also drew a particular body part on Geodude's head.
It's not funny, dude. You wrote that in permanent ink. That's stuck on me forever.
And with all the votes besides their own, the person going home is Infernape.
What? How could I go home? I never saw that coming.
I sure did.
Hello everybody, Aiden Care, also known as the Crazy Chandelure here, and welcome back to another episode of TPI Talk. Today I'm joined by a very special guest. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, welcome to Chili's.
I mean, that's the most unique reaction I've gotten out of anyone so far, so props for that.
Hey, when you bring in a gay man, he has to come with the flair.
Oh.
Hey, I'm InfernapeMaster64, and I just came in with the best possible, just out of nowhere joke ever.
Yeah.
I am proud of myself. Where's my money? I'm leaving.
Wait, you're leaving because I can't pay you, okay.
Oh, just give me the money and I'm good.
Look, I need to get that sweet ad revenue first from this video before I can pay you.
Fine.
But speaking of money, this video's sponsored by Honey. Honey is a free internet browser.
We are professionals, I promise.
Yeah, I've been doing this is my 5th one. So I'm bound to get a sponsor eventually, people. I'm trying.
Okay, let's actually get into this.
Yeah. Would you like to tell the fine folks at home what we're going to be talking about today?
Today, we're going to be talking about something horribly unrelated to the past 5 minutes of your lives, eliminations and TPIs.
Yes, one of the biggest parts of your episode, because as Telly, who we're going to probably bring up a few times in this video, has said on numerous occasions, even if your episode is amazing, the eliminations can always end up taking it down in terms of quality if it's done really bad, and sometimes they are.
It's like watching an actual season of Survivor Big Brother. You might have a good season, but then your winner flops, and you kind of go, oh. Or it's a bad season, but the winner is at least decent enough to salvage it from being in your top 5 worst.
Yeah, eliminations can make or break your episode sometimes, which is why you've got to be careful with them. And besides talking about a few good and bad eliminations, we're going to be giving you a few tips on how to make your eliminations better, even though I've not actually released my first episode yet and haven't eliminated anyone, but we're just going to ignore that for now.
Yeah, don't worry, you have someone who has done a whole season of 15 episodes and currently 8 episodes of a second season where people currently want my head.
Exactly, this is why I've invited a guest on this show. You were here for a reason, my friend.
I think the first thing that should be mentioned about eliminations is that, okay, look, this might be controversial. I don't know how people are going to take this, but predictable eliminations aren't always bad. It depends how you do them.
Oh, we got a different opinion here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yes, I have opinions, and I'm going to say them.
Please do. It gets me views.
Darn it, I don't get views out of this crap. Well, my thing is, it's just a kind of thought of, because when you think about it, first off, not every elimination is going to be a blindside from the audience perspective, because there are going to be blindsides from the cast perspective. That's just a given. But sometimes you're just going to know who goes home. However, what makes up for this, and what I've learned over the years, is what happens around that elimination. So, say before or after information is revealed about what's going on with that elimination. Maybe there's some dramatics happening behind the scenes. Maybe that predictable elimination kicks off a plot or two somehow. A predictable elimination isn't always a bad thing. It just depends how you handle it.
Exactly, and you can make a predictable elimination entertaining as well. For example, this is once again bringing up Telly, but I've just been rewatching some of his old episodes to prepare for the finale. But Roserade's elimination was kind of predictable, in the sense that ever since Delcati went home, people were gunning for her, but she she fought it up until the end, and like she had the whole idol thing, which made her elimination which was like predictable, also like a lot more entertaining, and it kicked off the whole Nidoking is actually a villain plot.
And also it added to, because she had an idol, so like then there was a moment of, oh, will she actually be eliminated or will she be saved? It's like there were layers to her elimination.
So that's like a predictable elimination done well. I think I'm trying to think of another good example. No, that one wouldn't. I was going to say Roselia from Sarcastic Slowking's Island Strikes Back, but that wasn't. Well, I suppose it was predictable that she'd go home eventually.
It was predictable because we all knew it was going to happen.
But like he made it very entertaining with the whole like canon thing, which was like very satisfying. Like you have no idea.
No, that whole tiebreaker segment was just based off, I think, the opening of one Saw movie. I forget which Saw movie it was, though.
I've never watched like a Saw movie. I'm not a horror person.
I haven't either. I just read up on them because for some reason I like reading up on horror.
Oh, okay. But yeah, that's another good example of elimination that was predictable, but also at the same time quite good as well.
An elimination I personally like, and I'm going to toot my own horn on this one, but Ninetales elimination back in Paradise, because basically everyone watching knew she was going home, including the people on her team. She was the only one who didn't, and it was just kind of funny to watch her believe and just think that she was going to be safe, but everyone just kind of went on to her and just went, they even like followed the act just to make her think she was safe because she would get too comfortable with it. The next thing you know, they all vote her out.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye.
I just found that really fun to do because I just wanted to have a moment where it's just Ninetales' ego just got the better of her in a moment.
Mm-hmm. Which is also really good because it kind of, it kind of like adds to the character that's being eliminated as well. If it's like their own faults that get them eliminated, like it gives them more depth than just like one personality trait. If they've actually got like a really good flaw, well, not a good flaw, but like a flaw that you use in their elimination. So that not only gave you a good elimination, but a good, like, I wouldn't say character development, but like a good, like, expansion, I guess, of Ninetales' character. I was trying to find the right word there. I'm not good with words sometimes.
Tried. I wouldn't say that's really, like, I think that would just be it's a good minor bit of depth to her, but she gets better. But her development really comes in season 2, be real.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, while you can make predictable eliminations really good, you can also make them really bad as well. Because I feel like if you've got a predictable elimination, sometimes you need to also have like something else that could happen as well. Like if it's too obvious and you can, like, if you can't think of anything to write to make a predictable elimination good without having something else, you could always add something else into it to make it like a little bit more suspenseful. Like in Bayo Cake's show, when was it Venonat? No, not Venonat. What's her what's the male form of Luzumi?
Volbeat.
Yeah. Volbeat was kind of like was a bit obvious to go home, but at the same time there are other people that messed up in the challenge, and you knew for a fact that both Makuhita and Rattata wanted Pikachu gone as soon as possible. So like there were other people that could have gone home at that time. So that made the elimination a little bit less predictable without adding like a lots of like twists or good moments. So don't feel like if you've got a predictable elimination that you have to like, okay, I've got a predictable elimination, I've got to add like a bunch of crazy impactful stuff before it and after it.
Like you can still do fine if you just like show like there are multiple ways the elimination could go. You have to also might want to be careful because if all the people you want to put on the pedestal, if they might go have plot that's still kind of ongoing, that might kill believability a small bit.
Well, I mean, Shinx went home and the island strikes back. No one is safe anymore.
Damn it, you're right. You're right. God damn it.
Yeah, you're still hurt by that one, aren't you?
I'm over it. It's just like, you have a good point.
I mean, I wasn't trying to shut down your point. That is a good point because, like, while it is, like me and Teddy talked about last episode, it is good to have a bit of suspense, but, like, don't just get rid of a plot out of absolutely nowhere all the time just for like a bit of suspense, because as I said, that's kind of suffering from Game of Thrones itis.
Wow, okay, shots are being fired.
Look, I'm not like, I have to restrain myself from making a lot of pop culture references in real life. This is like, I'm going all out. I'm using like more than 10% of my power here.
Are you Magby? Are you Magmar from Abandon? Is that what you are? There are also ways where your elimination can just kind of be, frankly, plain bad. God, that's gonna get us killed. Like, because sometimes eliminations just don't work out very well. I can give one of my own examples. Flaffy's elimination, Pokey Earth, kind of sucked. I'm not even going to deny that one. Because there was no real build up to it. It kind of just came out of nowhere, and she didn't really do anything in the episode she was there.
Yeah.
Whoops.
Also, I kind of did the same in my old TPI where I had a Voltorb, and Voltorb like majorly messed up in a challenge where you have to like try and, it was like based on My Hero Academia, where you had to try and like defuse a bomb that was in a forest, and there was like heroes versus villains, and like Voltorb's team was gonna lose, and he used explosion to try and take everyone out with him, and he forgot that one of the people that was acting as the villains was a ghost type, so he ended up taking out his own teammate as well. So that got him eliminated, which takes us to the next part. You don't always have to eliminate the person that messes up in the challenge.
Like, that's not as much of a problem nowadays, if we're being honest. Or at least I'm being honest. I don't know about Aiden over here, but like, it's not always a good thing to eliminate someone who's bad in challenges, because they can have other qualities. Maybe they can be the team mom, and they're the emotional support the team frankly needs. Or maybe it's just, oh, they slipped up one time, but they're still good in other challenges. We can keep them around. We have better things to deal with.
Yeah, like I'm not saying that it's more of a problem now, because like thankfully with more and more people talking about cliches and like trying to like stand out a bit more, and like the increase of quality in shows nowadays, this problem is kind of like, I wouldn't say moot, but it's like a lot less than it used to be back in like the old days. But
and by the way, it doesn't mean you don't have it. We're not saying you can't do an elimination based off someone who messed up in the challenge, because that's valid. That happens sometimes in reality shows. That just happens sometimes.
Yeah, like it can happen every time, but like don't make it like every elimination.
Maybe one of your early few eliminations, that's valid for it, because at that point, like, everyone's still trying to get to know each other. Everyone's trying to figure out alliances and stuff like that. At that point, that's just valid.
Exactly. But like in late game, or like when everybody's like gotten a chance to know each other and your cast is like bonded a bit, it'd like really make them seem bad if they're like, oh, okay, I'm trying to think of a Pokemon. Okay, Eevee, you messed up in the challenge. Bye bye.
Is it Nice Girl Eevee?
Yeah, Nice Girl Eevee. But
we officially have Matt's clicks. Wonderful.
Yeah, I mean, they're like Campfire Society's doing well. It's time to take a bit of inspiration. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But
you're so bad.
But there's also the opposite side. Please, I know this isn't really due to eliminations, but also don't make the person that keeps on repeatedly messing up not get punished for it. I know this is a bit off topic, but like this can also happen in some shows. Like if the character keeps on messing up and has like no consequences for it, don't do that either. Like don't send home like other characters just because you want to keep around the guy that's like messing up, or the girl that's messing up constantly.
Even if you want that as a plot point, where like maybe there's an alliance trying to keep them because they're a good pawn vote for a while, that kind of trick can only last for so long before it gets egregious.
Mm-hmm.
Could do it for a small little plot of we need them as a pawn for a vote, but then there's a point where it goes, we're kind of screwing ourselves if we keep them around. So weigh the pros and cons on that one. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Another good way of eliminations, though this happens more so in Merge, is sudden death eliminations, which takes a little bit less of advice to do because I can't really think of a way that you could do it badly unless it's like, I mean, I don't know, the challenge is super unfair on like a particular Pokemon. That would be an example of it done badly, but
Yeah, like there are ways you can make challenges unfair to certain Pokemon. I've been trying to avoid that for like God knows how long, but like Sudden Death is actually pretty easy just to do. It's like have a good, fair challenge that either person can do in a reasonable amount of time,
yeah, because like
and just have them do it.
yeah, because you shouldn't have
Plus,
like
it's instant dramatics.
Oh, sorry.
I just said it was instant dramatics. You're good. Keep
Oh,
going.
I was just saying, like, for example, if you're gonna have a sudden death elimination, don't make it a challenge where like you've got a fire type Pokemon and the challenge is to like go scuba diving for treasure or something like that. Like that kind of makes it a bit obvious as like who's gonna be the one to go home in like a sudden death. Like if one character like has a massive disadvantage, if it's a sudden death episode and it's like later on in the game, make sure like there's a chance that anyone can go home, not just like blatantly one Pokemon has to like overcome like more obstacles than everyone else.
Yeah, because like there you could do it the way where it's like, oh look, it's sudden death at like final 5, but and the person everyone wants out finishes first because that challenge is fit to their skill set. Like it's kind of obvious to what you're doing at that point.
Mm-hmm. And also, if you're doing tiebreaker eliminations, maybe not have it so like it's a fire starting challenge and you've got like 2 fire type Pokemon and 1 water type Pokemon. Maybe don't do that.
Maybe don't. That's not a good idea. Maybe make it. Well, no, not no. I was gonna say make it a plant growing challenge, but then the water type can just water the plant. Like, oh, wait a minute.
Just like insta-grow water, water like a tiny wee seed. 5 seconds later, oh look, I grew a tree. I win.
Idea backfired on me heavily.
Sorry, I'm not trying to throw shade here. You're my guest.
Oh no, that like you at least like that poked a good hole in my own logic right there, and I was about to say something bad, and I'm glad I stopped. I'm glad that the logic came up good on that one.
Yeah, but like as we say, if you're doing like a tiebreaker as well, which is also a part of eliminations, try and make it like reasonably fair as well, because that adds more stakes to it. And you don't always have to have every elimination be like super high stakes and anyone can go at like absolutely any moment. But like try and find some sort of a balance, especially if you're doing sudden death and tiebreaker elimination. Like it all depends on what kind of elimination you do.
So don't forget, because there are characters with motivations for wanting to get further, because maybe some of them are in the bottom of the totem pole. Maybe others are kind of screwed if they don't win this specific community. Or maybe if it's a sudden death challenge and they're the final 2, they have to win more than the other person, but the other person ain't going to let them win.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the dramatics at the appropriate level of necessary.
Yes,
help sell the eliminations.
Mm-hmm. Also, like this isn't really a problem because most people do put like a lot of like effort into eliminations, but you need to have like a lot of effort into it. Like have characters react to the elimination as well. I think is a good part because like if you've got a character that's been around for like 5-6 episodes and they're like not unpopular or anything, and they just go home and like no one says goodbye to them, then you just think, God, these are all really horrible people.
Yeah, like also another good point coming off from that. The person leaving the island, jumping off the plane, getting to the limousine, etc., etc. That does not have to be the last scene of the episode because the elimination could spark more scenes from that right afterwards. I have started implementing that because I've realized there could be more scenes. Let's do more scenes.
Yeah, you don't always have to end on an elimination because like if someone really big goes home, you wouldn't want it to end there. You'd like to be like, oh, what's happening now? Like now the team leader is eliminated, or now the leader of the biggest alliance on the game is eliminated. How does everyone react to this instead of just like the host being like, oh right, well that's this episode of Total Pokemon Island done. I'll see you guys on the next episode. Like, no, I want to know what's happening next. Don't leave me on this.
Yes, there could be suspense, like going, oh god, what's going to happen next episode? But at the same time, There's a fallout, and sometimes it's immediate fallout. Please show the immediate
Mhm.
fallout.
I mean, I think it all depends on like maybe who's eliminated, because it's like
Maybe you just want to like keep it a little bit hidden. Maybe you want a flashback sequence the next episode, which valid, fair. I'm with all like 100% with that because that's fine. Sometimes you got to hold things up for an episode, but at the same time, if you want to have some fallout after the elimination before the episode ends, sprinkle it in. No one will mind.
yeah, no, like it's not like you don't always have to follow the structure of few scenes before the challenge, challenge explained, challenge takes place, few scenes after challenge, elimination ceremony ending. Like you can spice it up a little bit, and don't be afraid to spice up your elimination ceremonies or something like that. Like put a bit of your own flair into it.
Also, just a minor point on eliminations, because I'm not going to tell you how to do it, but please give yourself some really good presentation for your elimination, because these eliminations are, again, the last thing you see and are supposed to be dramatic because those hosts want those TV clicks.
We got to make the money out of this, people, so put some effort in.
Funny how like this whole community doesn't even make money out of any of this.
I mean, we will get there eventually. I mean, we've been going on strong for what, like 7 or 8 years now? We'll get to that
Or
point.
10.
10?
Maybe, yeah,
Jeez.
I think so.
I was like, God, I must have been like 6 then. Yeah, I was 6 then.
Lord.
In this community. Yeah, I know. Jesus.
I feel old.
I'm feeling
Same,
old now.
but yeah, like don't have. Like, I'm not gonna say like make your elimination look like a giant grand master design of dramatics or something, but like show like some good dramatics, maybe some potential lighting effects, and by that I mean like darkening people, lighting people up, having a fire, and lighting people close to the fire, stuff like that. Have some good close-ups, and like when the things are being passed around, maybe the bottom two have their own little section, they're close up. Maybe some dramatic music before the item is thrown to them, because I've been changing up how I do my eliminations recently, and I'm really happy with myself.
Yeah, like add something. I think music is definitely a good thing to do. It doesn't always have to be the total drama elimination music.
I use like a deep drum in the background of the entire elimination up until the bottom two, because I feel like that works really nice because it's kind of dramatic drum beats going on throughout the background.
So that's like once again an example of like a different type of music that you can use. But like don't make it like something completely random as well. Like no one would want to hear the Ben 10 theme song in the background while someone's being eliminated.
Part of me wants to know if that actually happened now or not.
I mean, I could put it in the intro skit if you want.
Let's do it.
Alright, fine. I'll do it. I'm warning you, if you want me to do it, I shall do it.
Do it! I want the people to know that we agreed on this beforehand.
Okay, yeah, we'll make it look like this was all planned from the beginning, all part of my master plan. Oh, sorry, our master plan. I don't want you turning on me last second.
And words. Let me think. What else is? I think something I kind of want to mention. Your eliminations should feel. If the elimination, I feel like we already said this, but if elimination has an impact that should be weighed, let the impact happen. Let people talk about it. Let people like react to it from the next like episode or so, because eliminations can start. Literally, an elimination can start a whole dang plot line. It takes one elimination to start someone's plot. You never know.
Yeah, like I keep on like referencing so many TPIs this episode, but like for example, in Jake's Abandoned, when Fennekin got eliminated, that started like a whole entire plot line of like the Alliance falling apart from the inside, trying to figure out who sent Fennekin home, because one of them would have had to have switched in order to send her home.
Point.
Like that's a good example of a plot line coming from an eliminated contestant.
And sometimes eliminations can really affect people, because you know what? You're on a reality show, stuck with a bunch of people. You can't talk to anyone outside. You probably don't like your host, more likely than not, unless you're me, and Tornadus is not that bad of a... Wait, I mean Thunderous. Tornadus is a jerk.
Oh, did you just say Tornadus is not that bad of a person?
Halfway through. Oops. Like, you are stuck with these people, and maybe you've grown close bonds, and the next thing you know, one of your BFFs just left. How do you react?
Or, for all we know, your boyfriend or girlfriend. Like, you can't just have an elimination where like one of your character's significant others or like partners goes away, and it's like, yeah, this is fine. Let's never talk about them again. Wait, who was Bulbasaur? What? Bulbasaur? Who's that?
I don't know. He sounds weird.
Yeah, it seems like he was like a leader or something. Let's just forget about him.
Wow, okay, that even goes further. Wow.
Well, that happens sometimes, and we need to point it out. That's the whole point of this show.
I know it is.
But God, this is just been us cracking so many jokes. Like,
It's because we're friends. You know that I
Yes.
crack jokes and like to be funny. You knew what you were signing up for.
oh no, I wanted to sign up for this. I like making jokes too. In fact, why don't we put the Friends theme in the background of the elimination for the skit?
Actually, that sounds even better. Let's do that. Like, that's just gonna be irony. That's just gonna be pure irony. I'll be there
see-
for you as I vote you off of this show.
I'll be there for you. Bye bye, Bulbasaur.
We are horrible people.
Oh no, I know that for a fact. Oh, and I'm trying to think if there's any other things we need to mention about elimination.
I think one more thing I want to mention is that when you're eliminating people, especially early, don't just give them no screen time. Let them because then you're going to wonder, wait, who was this person when they get eliminated?
We did kind of touch up on this last episode, but like it does need repeating.
Because it is on topic.
Make your first. Yeah, it is on topic, unlike kind of last time where it wasn't really, but we talked about it anyway. Yeah, make your first elimination have some sort of impact. Like, give the character some sort of develop. Well, not you don't have to like give them like massive amounts of development.
Clear character.
But give them some. Yeah, like don't just make it like, okay, here we have Trico. Trico likes to dance, and that's his entire character.
Right.
Like, and then yeah, I'm just trying to think of something here. Like, roll with it. But yeah, like try and give, let's say, Trico something more to him besides liking dancing before you send him home. Like, you don't need to make them super deep and super complex and something like that, but like give them something, please.
And also, I'm like, again, this is for like like an example that I think I'm allowed to say because we have talked about this and he has owned up to it. So I think I have every right to say it, and if I don't, sorry, buddy. Helioptile and The Island Strikes Back.
Oh, yeah.
Look, Matt.
Sorry, Matt.
Like, Matt, if you're offended, my bad. Sorry, buddy. You can punch me on the DMs later, but you know I'm right.
Yeah, that elimination wasn't.
That's a clear
the
example
best.
of what. That's a clear example of a character who didn't really exist, got eliminated. You wonder who, and then forget about them by the next episode.
I'm gonna be honest here. I kind of forgot that Helioptile was a character for a second.
You too sometimes.
Like,
I go between remembering and forgetting.
Yeah, like for a brief second there, like before you said Island Strikes Back, I was just thinking, which Helioptile? Like from what show? And then you said Island Strikes Back, and it took me a second. I was like, oh yeah, there was a Helioptile on that show. And now I feel really bad.
Not even that many Helioptiles in TPI. I think there's like 3 max.
I'm trying to. Okay, yeah, no, there isn't really that many.
I've only seen like 3.
Add that to the list of characters to add for season 2. But yeah, that's another part. Eliminations that are like not too obvious, but sorry, like eliminations at the beginning. Your first boot, like it says something about your show. Your show can get better, don't get me wrong, but your first elimination needs to show that you can like actually pull off something good.
It could set a precedent. It could set a tone like nice girl Eevee from Bayo's to current season. You want to know what happened there? That set up a big dynamic, but on the team involving Rattata and Pikachu.
Hi, I'm nice girl Eevee. I love Pikachu and I love all the girls on my team and I want to form a big old alliance.
Next thing you know, she gets sent away because of Rattata thinking that there's going to be a power couple. instant conflict.
Yep. And then you just feel really bad for Eevee when, like, Pikachu just says 2 episodes later, oh yeah, she was nice, but, like, I never liked her in that sort of way. And then it's like, oh god, Eevee just keeps on getting, like, dragged through the mud and, like...
I think that's the joke.
I know it was, but, like, you start to feel kind of bad.
that is very true. Like, poor Eevee.
Ripping pepperoni.
Third first boot, though.
I think that's everything.
Yay!
Oh wow, you want to get rid of me? Okay, I see how this is. Thank you for watching, everybody.
Oh no, I think I'm about to die now.
But in all seriousness, I'd like to thank Will, aka InfernapeMaster, for coming on TPI Talk. His channel and his most recent episode of his own show, Pokey Earth, will be in the link down below. And is there anything you'd like to say before we sign off?
Things. One, thank you for having me. I'm really happy to talk about Eliminations because Eliminations have been my really bad part on TPI, and you can ask Telly because he can tell you straight up my Eliminations have not been the best until recently, and I'm really happy to at least give out what I've learned to other people so they can improve too if Eliminations have been their tough spot. And second, give me views. Give me all the views.
Oh god. I mean, I'm the one that
deserves.
deserves the views, but okay.
Okay, so
Gonna
goodbye.
have
Goodbye, guys. We're gonna end this video now so I can punch Aiden later.